and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the AI stem separation. So whether you're a musician or a DJ, knowing how to separate audio stems can really revolutionize your workflow. So in today's video we'll be looking at two of the most popular DAWs, namely Logic Pro and FL Studio, because both of these now come with the AI stem separation built in to the actual application. And we'll look at how each of these handle AI stem separation, their ease of use, the accuracy, and of course the overall quality of the separated audio stems. The definition of audio stem separation of course means extracting separate stems from a complete mix of music. And that means extracting the drum tracks as a separate stem and also get the melodic instruments, maybe the bass, and also the vocals as separate stems. And having all these tracks as separate stems of course makes it easier to create remixes and reuse different audio stems. Right, so without further ado, my name is Mattias, let's take the tour. Let's begin here in Logic Pro 11 with a track called Gelheim Fly. Fly is an old melodic dubstep or EDM track I made a few years back. We'll first just take a listen here to the verse and the chorus so we have something to compare with when we listen to the extracted stems.
Or you can dance and make it grow. There's a crystal sky meant for us to fly. Meant for us to fly.
Yeah, so as you can hear, it's quite a busy mix when we get to the chorus. So let's see how the stem splitter handles the verse and the chorus. So to make the stem split here in Logic Pro, it's really easy. Just make a right click on any audio track and go down to processing and select stem splitter. And here we get to select which types of tracks we want to extract. And yeah, let's just make a default split. And it's going to take a little while here for the AI processing to extract the stems. So, okay, so a quick break here. If you like my work here on YouTube and you would like to learn more about music production, and maybe you want to learn more about Logic Pro, Bitwig Studio, or sound design, or any other type of topic, please check out any of my courses or sample packs over at store.morningdewmedia.com. Let's continue. Right, so there we go. Let's mute the original track and let's listen to the complete mix first, and then we'll listen to the separate tracks. So this is the extracted stems.
Where's the fight? We're breathing in the light. What's to gain? What's to gain? But being just afraid. You can stand and watch a show, or you can dance and make it grow.
Okay, so my first impression here is that the vocals is extremely well extracted. I did hear some like melodic stuff bleed through, but in general I feel it was quite a good extraction. Let's just listen to the chorus vocals. So you can hear a little bit of the high end of the percussion and some of the synths bleed through, but overall this is an extremely busy chorus, so we can understand that some instruments will like bleed through. The only thing that I felt was kind of low quality here on the extraction is probably like the bass in this case, because it's of course focused on the bass area of the sound, so we have very little of the high end of the bass. Because if we take a listen to the full mix, you can hear this plenty of stuff that happens in the bass, also in the like high mids and the high end. So let's take a listen to the original chorus and pay attention to the bass and the details in the bass. And then the bass in our extraction. But then again, listening to the last track, which is called Other, where we have all the synths and stuff, we probably have the top end of the bass in the other part, in this last stem. And let's compare these side by side. So I'll solo first the original track, and then we'll solo the stems.
Where's the fight? We're breathing in the light. What's to gain? What's to gain?
Yeah, so I feel that when we have all the stems active at the same time, we basically have the same kind of fidelity, almost the same kind of fidelity as the original mix. So I feel that overall it's a very, very good extraction, and listening to the separate tracks, as I mentioned, this is also a very busy mix, and I feel that the AI stem extraction here in Logic Pro 11 made a pretty good job at extracting the separate stems. So let's take a listen to the same track in FL Studio. The same thing here in FL Studio, we just drag in the track. So we get it as a complete full mix, and you already know the song, so let's just make a click here at the top and select extract stems from sample. And we get the same kind of options as with Logic Pro. We can select the drums, bass, instruments and vocals. And interestingly, there's a second option in here to limit the CPU usage, but we're not gonna activate that, just press extract. Now the process in FL Studio seems to take a little bit longer than it did in Logic Pro. So let's see if the actual result is better. And there we go, there we have the stems, and FL Studio has already muted the top track. So let's take a listen to the verse and the chorus with all the stems active. And then I'll mute some of the stems so we can listen to them separately.
Where's the fight? Where's the fight? We're breathing in the light. What's to gain? What's to gain? But being just afraid. You can meant for us to fly. Fast we go.
Okay, so let's take a listen to the separate stems. First we have the drums. And all the synths and melodic stuff. So we can hear a little bit of like vocal reverb bleed through here, but overall it's extremely good extraction here. And if we listen to the final track here, we will probably have a very clean vocal style.
Where's the fight? Where's the fight? We're breathing in the light. What's to gain? What's to gain? But being just afraid. You can stand and watch a show, or you can dance and make it grow. There's a crystal sky meant for us to fly. Meant for us to fly.
So you can hear a little bit of like those weird, gnarly like bass sounds creep through here in the chorus vocal. But overall it's a very good extraction, especially during the verse. But as I mentioned with the Logic stem separation, this is a really busy track, especially here in the chorus, with tons of fat synth sounds and bass sounds that really cover the mix. And I feel the same thing here as we heard with the Logic Pro stem extraction. In the bass track, we still have like a very low-end focused and low mids focused bass, and it has moved like the high mids and the high end to the instrument track instead. But it's totally understandable because it's such a busy track. Let's just listen to the fill. Yeah, so that's a very good extraction of the drum tracks, and I could definitely make use of the drum tracks and the vocals to maybe create a remix or a totally new track with this track as the basis and the foundation. So, highly recommended that you check out the stem extractions within Logic Pro and FL Studio, because it's such a great feature to reuse your old like beats and stuff. If you don't have like the original project files left, you can just throw them in and reuse those old drum tracks and maybe some vocal chops. And I mean, not everybody knows a great singer or sing themselves, so it can be a great way to extract vocals from some AI generated music from Suno or Udio and get some great vocals into your own tracks. Just a tip. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you liked this video. Please let me know in the comments what you think of the AI stem extractions here, and let me know if you have any other tips for future topics. So, what now? Well, you can check out my next video. Thanks for watching today. See you in the next one. Bye.